on, get on that ass real quick one time. 144, bitch.
Run that shit up, Trey.
They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I go with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this Lord. Told that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Wait up, let me make a call right quick. I'ma start another war. I was hurting when she left, but I don't care about anymore. I need a Vaseline like my Nina Puffer boy. Took a Zach, watch the dark. Matter of fact, like a dart. Any problem, let them come. We gon' snatch they soul like Shane Sharp. Put them out of service, keep them tools like Miss Hopper free. Try to hold me, it's way too late. I'm headed straight to the safe. Throw that one up like a trophy. I'm that nigga, ain't no debate. Told them boys we taking over. Call them up like set the date. This shit a piece of cake. Yeah, my bitches came from Whole Foods. Told them put on that top 3. Then bring me my house shoes. Don't make excuses, make moves. These niggas ungrateful, gotta show them UPK rules. I'm make hits like I can't lose. They said you get on, you gon' represent. I said of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. She about to go dumb, yeah, bitch, me whole car. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this Lord. Told that bitch is either or. Yeah, I know them niggas ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our core. Yeah, I just got off the call. I'ma start another war. Spit a plate up with my niggas. Get your knife and your fork. He ain't locked in with the count. And would you speaking to me for? Yeah, I just took the floor. Ain't no cowards in my campaign. They can't stop the campaign. Tell them bring the champagne. They know I'm a champion. They can see the outcome. Get them niggas bad. Got them tied down and out there. Came through with them steppers. Niggas been down since day one. We run up the bands, bitch, like Dylan. They say you get on, you gon' represent. I said, of course. Soon as they crank that beat, I ride that bitch just like a horse. Yeah, about to go dumb. Yeah, bitch, we whole cart. You ain't know they call me Obi-Wan. I come with the force. You gon' ride, yeah, of course. Get it lit up like a torch. You either low or this low. Told that bitch is either or. I told you niggas, you ain't cut like that. I swear I'm to our car. And I just made the call. We gon' start another war. Yeah. Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rapper, busy man, shit, nigga. They turn their head over, nigga. I read what Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Nigga think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert, another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this an exorcism, watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision, let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening, is in fact the If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jack the Ripper. War, we gon' run the summer, it's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he said something, I ain't hear him, this shit light. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Free shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand and feed you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow sign, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still about my bread, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Let's go ahead and clap it up. Shalom, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohana. It's the Monday night Killeen scripture breakdown class. You got any questions or comments on or off topic, you go ahead and put them in the chat. Tonight we're gonna be talking about shame. All right. It's such an important topic because it's such a powerful tool that Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans can and need to use in order to be able to separate from our oppressor's kingdom. That's right. You know what I mean? And become better. Right? Christ said that, you know what I'm saying, when he was talking to Nicodemus, he said, unless you be born again, meaning become a new creature, then you can't see the kingdom of heaven. Kingdom of heaven being Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans ruling over the planet Earth, all right? And the only way that you're going to be able to become a new creature is if you're ashamed of the old creature and the things that that old man and that old woman was doing in the world, so that you can change and become better, become a better brother and sister. All right, and the things that person did, all right, and it's such a powerful tool that in your oppressors, this is how you notice it's a powerful tool, because what is America built off of? You know what I mean? It's built off of the opposite. It's built off of pride, all right. So that's, you know what I mean, that's all your you know what I mean, that's all your oppressor pushes to you know what I'm saying, Americans. The American dream is built off of pride. Right. You know what I mean? You got LGBTQ pride, you got you know what I mean, white pride, all of that. Like, your oppressor makes sure he pushes pride, especially to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, so that we stay under his rulership, so that he can continue to oppress us. Baba Kashaw, real quick, can I get real quick, let me get Obadiah real quick, starting at verse 3. Right. And this is what we got to understand about our oppressor. Like, your oppressor is fighting a losing battle. Because the Most High is, you know what I mean, once Christ cracks that sky and 200 million angels, you know what I mean, they're coming to save Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the Lord's chosen people, man. That's right. And so, you know what I mean, once your oppressor kingdom falls, then you know what I'm saying, Christ's kingdom is going to follow, you know what I'm saying, with the rulership of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Baba, can I get that real quick?
You want verse 2?
Verse, if you want to, sir.
Okay. So starting at verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. Mm-hmm. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground?
So we know that the book of Obadiah is talking about your oppressor and how his kingdom is going to fall. He's talking about his pride and his, you know what I'm saying, how he's built this nation and his rulership over Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans over pride. You know what I'm saying? And this book is prophesying how his kingdom is going to fall. right? And this is what your oppressor thinks when he sees you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man. When he's, you know what I'm saying, when we get up on them street corners and we speak about these prophecies about how your oppressor's kingdom is gonna fall, this is how they feel. They feel like, you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying, they're the biggest superpower on the planet. They got the, you know what I'm saying, they a strong nation. Who gonna bring them down to the ground? But read verse 3 from the top, Baba Shah.
The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee.
This is what you got to understand about your oppressor. Their pride in the end is going to deceive them, because the beginning of your oppressor's kingdom is the end of the world, and the beginning of Jacob's kingdom is the beginning of that which follows, man. Meaning Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans' kingdom is going to come, but before your black people can rule on this earth, your oppressor's kingdom has to fall. And that's the prophecy. Go ahead, sir.
Most High Christ, if I could, what you bring out is heavy, man. But, you know, if you read verse 2, like the Most High saying that he made them small among the heathen, meaning that they pride come from the fact that, think about how the white man has invaded every country on the earth, right? Like, they've invaded India, right? Britain invaded India. Britain invaded China. They've invaded all the nations of the earth and set up their military bases everywhere. But
right.
If you think about it, they're like a teaspoon of milk, you understand, in the world.
Right.
Like, they're small amongst the heathen. So where does that pride come from? That pride comes from the fact that they know that they're outnumbered, but they feel like they have superiority because of how they dominate everybody around them. You understand? So the Lord made them small, but the pride of their heart has deceived them. Why? Because the Lord blessed them with the sword. He blessed them with military power and the ability to go to war with all the nations around them. So that made them feel like, can't nobody take me down. You understand?
Right.
Because the Lord gave them the dew of heaven and blessed them with the sword. So they're small amongst the heathen, but that pride, because they dominate everybody around them, they feel like who's going to bring me down? Like when you live up in the mountains, in the mountaintops and the rocks, like that's a strategic and tactical advantage. Why? Because you can see everybody coming. Right? If you live up in the mountains and the rocks, they got to come up to you to where your position is at to take you down. So all you got is the advantage to pop them when they coming up. You dig what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's their position from a pride standpoint spiritually. They feel like they're looking down on everybody and they're amongst the rocks. Like it's not easy for you to get to where we're at. And how did they get to where they're at? Because they oppressed Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
The reason why America became a superpower and why Britain became a superpower is because it was on the backs of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man.
Right.
That's how they got that into that position. You understand? But Salaki.
No, concept the water, sir, and that was such a heavy point, because of that, because they've gotten so high up in this, you know what I'm saying, in this society off of our backs, and
right.
we, you know what I'm saying, we want that American dream. So what we've done is cling ourselves to that. We've started to become, you know what I'm saying, they became confident in, you know what I'm saying, those carnal things, you know what I'm saying, being so small amongst the heathen and being able to get so very high up despite being, you know what I'm saying, outnumbered by all these heathens. And because we see that, you know what I'm saying, they push their history in the school systems on Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and they push their culture and ideals on us, you know what I mean, and all these surrounding nations, then we've become envious and clinged onto their idea of the American dream. And we've become, you know what I mean, we've taken on their ideals, and they're the pride that, you know what I'm saying, the pride that they built, or they built America off of. But the thing that, you know what I'm saying, they don't teach you in the Christian church, they don't teach you in school, is that their pride is going to be short-lived. Let me get verse 10, Baba Kasha. And this is what you got to understand about you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American, man.
This is the book of Obadiah, chapter 1, verse 10. For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
What?
Shame shall cover thee.
So they're building their whole idea of being so prideful in, you know what I'm saying, America is built off of the backs of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But the scripture just said for the violent things and the violent nature that they've taken against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the fact that they've built this country and their rulership on the backs of black people, Hispanic people, Native Americans, shame is going to cover them. So all of that pride that they, you know what I'm saying, they try to push, and they're desperately trying to push to the point where they're stuffing it in, you know what I'm saying, in the faces of our children, so that, you know what I mean, even to the in cartoons and TV shows and all of that, they put in that this wicked sense of pride in to our children and trying to instill that spirit in us, in our children. But shame, there's going to be a day and a point where shame is going to cover your oppressor for the things that they done to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Is it going to be, it's like you had the rest of that real quick.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Your oppressor, who we cling ourselves to, we try to take on their ideals. We try to, you know what I mean? We try to attach ourselves to them. We call ourselves Americans and after the names of our oppressors. I mean, eventually shame is going to cover them, and they're going to be cut off forever. Meaning they're not gonna have the opportunity to oppress us and be the biggest superpower in the earth ever again. Like, they're gonna be extinct, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean? And so, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, we invest so much in this kingdom, you know what I mean, for the sake of, you know what I mean, acceptance by our oppressors, for the sake of being able to provide for our families. We trying to, you know what I'm saying, kiss the behind of our oppressor and become like our oppressor. We want to sleep with their women and we want to marry their men, you know what I'm saying, for our sisters. We want to be like them, you know what I'm saying? We want to befriend them and take off, you know what I'm saying, take after all of their customs and culture and ideals. But it's, what we got to understand is it's temporary. It's going to be very temporary. And all they can look forward to is that shame that's going to cover them for what they've done for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Like, we live in a society where, you know what I'm saying, now your oppressor gets to claim that he's the true chosen, you know what I'm saying, people of the Most High. But if a black man, where every scripture, every prophet, every, you know what I'm saying, even the Most High and the angels are described as black people, you know what I mean? If a black man says that the Jews are black, you know what I mean, we get shut down, we get destroyed, we get canceled, things like that. Like, that's just the mindset of your oppressor. But shame is going to cover him even your oppressor, who we cleave to, who we, you know what I'm saying, direct our energy towards, he's going to be overcome with shame. And it's to the point where, and it says he'll be cut off forever because he doesn't have a sense of shame. And that's what's going to make you turn away from the things that you know what I'm saying, that you've done. You know what I mean? Your oppressor, see, we depend on our oppressor to have a conscience and you know what I'm saying, admit their wrongs, turn away from the wrong things that they've done to black people, their violence. You know what I mean? But what you got to understand about your oppressor is that he doesn't have that conscience. He doesn't have that sense of shame. He doesn't have that sense of shame that's going to make him turn away from oppressing you. So it's really you know what I mean, not productive to pattern yourself after your oppressor, because they don't have that sense of consciousness. Baba Kashai, let me get Romans chapter 12 verse 2. And this is the whole point. Like us us conforming our ways to the ways of our oppressor is a dead end. And what we need to do is use that sense of shame of, you know what I'm saying, of the lives that we lived in, you know what I'm saying, the lives that we lived. As a matter of fact, let me get Deuteronomy chapter 28 real quick, starting at verse 1. And because what we got to realize is the reason why we in this condition is because of our disobedience to the Most High. And the only way that we can fix this condition that we in is by being obedient. You can go ahead and read that when you got it, sir.
All right, the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee high above all nations of the earth.
See, this is what the Most High told us from the beginning. If we follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, then we'll be set on high above all people, of all nations of the earth. Let me get verse 15, Baba Kasha.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
You see, this is the only way we're going to be able to get out of this situation by turning away from, you know what I'm saying, all these things that we've, you know what I'm saying, turning away from the things that we've done to be disobedient to the Most High. And though, you know what I'm saying, that's what the Most High laid down from the beginning. He said, if you choose, you know what I'm saying, if you do this, then you'll get rewarded. You'll be blessed. And if you do this other thing, then you're going to be cursed and you're going to be below all nations. So what we got to understand is the only way we're going to get out of this condition is by turning away. And by the only way we're going to be able to turn away from the things that we've done to get in this condition is to be ashamed. Let me get, I'll take that Romans now, sir. And it's so heavy because they, in America, they teach, you know what I'm saying? They teach you that shame is just such this terrible and evil concept that you shouldn't be ashamed. You know what I'm saying? You should be, it's like, go ahead, sir.
No, I was just going to say, like, you know, like when Amber Rose had the slut walk, you know what I'm saying? All the things that, you know, that naturally like even when kids tell a lie, you can tell that like when they're lying, like they're ashamed. Or if they do so, like a kid might not even be able to talk, but if he takes something and you call his name, you run away.
Right.
Why you run away? Because you know he about to get dealt with.
Right.
Even babies know that at a level inside of themselves that they're, you know, or you ask them, hey, did you take that? And they put their head down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like shame is something that God gives for you to recognize when you've gone too far, or you crossed over that line. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, our oppressor is a habitual line crosser. He lives on the other side of that line. That's
right.
Why the Lord called him the border of wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Like they live over there. That's their habitation. Is wickedness, man. So, and that's why the Lord says shame is going to cover you, because why? They make us feel ashamed. They make us feel ashamed of the atrocities that we've suffered. They make us feel ashamed about even trying to speak about our sufferings. You know, Officer Sharatazan in Florida, he was in the mall and he did a video reel where he went to two Jewish young boys and asked them, should Israel forgive Hamas and forgive the Palestinians, right? And I guess the young Jewish boys, they called their rabbi. And the rabbi was like, nah, man, we shouldn't forgive because, you know, they're murdering Israeli children and women. There's no forgiveness. You know, we don't have to forgive because they're doing terrorist acts and they're murdering our children, you know, innocent civilians, and they're killing them. So no, we shouldn't forgive them. We should get rid of them, right? So he let them finish, and then Officer Sharatazar asked, he said, well, should blacks forgive white people for what they did to us in America? And it was a long pause. He just quiet. He's like, well, listen, that's a different subject. You know, we have evidence of what they're doing to us right here and right now.
Damn.
Like where Israeli young boys and girls are being killed. That's a different subject. That's a different thing. I don't want to. That's not the same thing.
Wow.
Right. So he wanted us to feel compassion for what they're dealing with and their right to not forgive, to go to war with the Palestinians, but then shamed us for our suffering and what we go through. This is why the Lord said that shame is going to cover them, because the Lord is going to shame them. You understand? The Lord is going to destroy them and have their wives ravished. That's why the Israelis have their wives ravished and killed in those homes like that, or unalived, Salakia. Because why? That's what happens to that happened to our mothers, to our aunts, our sisters, our nieces. You understand? Our daughters. That happened to us, and nobody felt shame about it.
Right.
So the shame you're gonna feel is when the Lord causes these other nations to come against each other and destroy their women and children and destroy their sons. Why? Because nobody cries for the pain of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. Nobody feels shame for the things that we've suffered innocently. Like, who has blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians oppressed? What country have we invaded and took over? You understand?
Right.
Listen, the only shame that we should feel is about not being in alignment with our power. But what have we done to any nation on the earth? The only people that we hurt is ourselves. That's the shame we should feel, that we don't love each other.
Right.
Not that we're harming other nations. All the other nations are harming us, and they feel no shame about it. None. Salakia.
No, Salaki, no, that was a heavy point, and it's so damn heavy. Like they with the quickness was like, yeah, no, we should. I mean, they shouldn't forgive Hamas for the things that's going over there. But then, like you said, the brother brought out the things that happen to blacks and Hispanics in this country, and they what'd you say? You said
pause for like 2 minutes and was like, that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
Y'all, we're talking about two different things. He said we have evidence.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm like, yo.
Right. As if the condition of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans over here as if the history, you know what I'm saying, of what's going on with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in this country. Right.
Internationally, across the world.
Right.
And it's so hypocritical of these heathens, right? That's why it's so heavy when it says, why do the heathens rage? These heathens use how they treat us to try to to shame America. When they talk about America not being a righteous nation, they say, look how you treat the blacks, the African Americans. You know, you murder them, you put them in prison. Like I heard the Japanese consulate speaking about that. I heard all in the UN, they'll speak about what happens to us, but not because they care about us, just because they want to be the ruling power.
Right.
You understand? And you best believe that whatever, if another nation could come into power after the so-called oppressor, they'd treat us the same way as him. You understand? Like, no heathen's going to have compassion for us. And the sad thing is they try to shame America for how they deal with us, but then they want to shame us for not having compassion for them. Like, why? Like, if you know how we're being treated, then why would you run up against us, with our demonstration and our freedom, exercising our freedom of speech? Why would you come up against us and come against the weak people, the people who don't have an advocate, who don't have anybody to speak up for them in the United Nations, council? Nobody's speaking for us, but Palestine has representation in the UN. They have leaders. You know what I'm saying? They even have Iran backing them. They have Jordan and Turkey backing them. What country is backing blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? These other nations are willing to go to war with Israel over Palestine. When did they ever say we're going to go to war with America for how you treat blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, but you want us to scream free Palestine? When have you ever screamed free blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians? When have you ever cried out for us? But you want to shame us for not feeling your pain. But when we speak about our pain, it's not the same.
Right.
Salaki.
Now that's so damn heavy, like, and it's so heavy what they said about you know what I mean. There's no evidence, like you know what I mean, cause what is in the during like they're still, you know what I'm saying, they're still Edomites getting locked up and arrested for, you know what I'm saying, war crimes against the so-called Jewish man.
Right.
Still to this day. And it's the, you know what I'm saying, like, what's the evidence, right? What evidence are you looking at? You're looking at history. You're looking at history and the fact that they just have this you know what I'm saying, connection to the Holocaust through their bloodline and their lineage.
Right.
But when, you know what I'm saying, when we look at our pain and our suffering through the bloodline and lineage of our oppressors and the things that their forefathers done, you know what I mean, it's not the same. Like, it's why, like, this is why they just gotta go. They gonna be cut off forever from being, you know what I'm saying, from being in power over blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans ever again.
Man, our pain is on a chalkboard. It's written with chalk on a chalkboard, and then every year it get wiped off. Another portion get wiped off, and then it get rewritten. They were workers. They weren't slaves.
Right.
They gained skills from slavery. They gained certain skills and trades. Every year it get wiped off. It's on the chalkboard. But the pain of these other nations is written in stone.
Right.
We got to weep for them. To hell with that.
Right. Constant. That's heavy. Like, we got to. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we compassionate people. So, you know what I'm saying? A genocide, you know what I'm saying? A genocidal event, you know what I'm saying? On any nation, you know what I'm saying? And at any capacity, you know what I'm saying? We going to look at it with compassion because we're compassionate people. But they just don't have that. You know what I mean? It's you know what I'm saying? It's evident. Right. Yeah, they don't have it. They
even got a show called Shameless. It's an evil show too, man. It's wicked. It's listen, man. It's them oppressors doing what they do. They're shameless. They're shameless, and it's crazy because like the scriptures say, it's like you had a whore's forehead because you feel no shame about anything that you've done. That's why it's called they call Babylon. It's the great whore that sit on many waters because she don't feel any shame about anything she's done. She wipe her mouth and say,
right.
I didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem? You know what I mean? That's why the Lord said He's gonna cover you. That's why the Lord is gonna let everybody know that she's, you know.
Damn right. Damn right. Let me get that Romans quick.
Romans 12. You want verse 2?
2, yeah, come on.
Verse 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
See, and that's the whole point, man. Like, that's like your oppressor is an evil, wicked bastard. And if you conform yourself to this world, to the world that's, you know what I'm saying, where you're in subjugation to your oppressor, and your oppressor, you know what I'm saying, teaches you his abominable ways and, you know what I mean, his ideals and all of that, we cling to that, then we're going to suffer a punishment with your oppressor. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say any found with him will be thrust through. I mean, what we got to do is be transformed by the renewing of our mind, where we realize, like, yeah, the way we treat each other in this hell, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Stealing from one another, you know what I mean? Sleeping with one another's wives, you know what I mean? All of these things that we do to one another in this country in this world under our oppressors, you know what I mean? How we gonna renew our minds is by feeling remorse and shame and regret for how we treated and dealt with one another. I mean, they say, you know what I'm saying? They say hurt people, right?
Right.
But the problem is all we can think about is how we feel. All we can think about is how, you know what I mean? All we can think about is how we feel and how we've been hurt and how we've been wronged. So what we do is, you know what I'm saying, take that as a license to, you know what I mean, to wrong one another and continue. And then you wrong somebody else, and it usually starts with children. Like, you know what I mean, you grow up, you know what I'm saying, destroyed and hurt because, you know what I'm saying, you've been wronged, and then it trickles down to the children who are innocent. They don't know what you done been through. They don't know what your pain is. But what we do, what we tend to do in this hell, because we surrounded by so much hell and pressure and oppression and burden in this world from our oppressor. You know what I mean? We just inflict that. We just our pain reflects on our children. We you know what I mean? We put that on our children, and then they grow up jaded and confused and angry, and then, you know what I'm saying, the cycle just continues. But, you know what I mean, that pain comes from, you know what I'm saying, us being wronged and us, you know what I'm saying, hurting each other, and, you know what I'm saying, constantly passing that pain down and not being ashamed of, you know what I'm saying, the things that we do to one another, not, you know what I'm saying, Matthew 18:15, and not apologizing, saying salakia to one another, you know what I'm saying, and admitting, you know what I'm saying, admitting our wrongs. You know what I'm saying? That's where that pain comes from. Baba Kashai, let me get Matthew chapter 7, verse 3. But that's where it comes from. It comes from, you know what I mean, us constantly, you know what I'm saying, because we're in hell, and our oppressor taught us, you know what I'm saying, to not have brotherhood with one another, taught us to hate one another, taught us to steal from one another and lie to one another and abuse one another. And we constantly, you know what I'm saying, afflict that on one another, and we're not ashamed of it because we've been hurt. You know what I'm saying? So we feel like we got a license to do so. Slaki, let me get that, sir. Verse. You already give you a chapter and verse?
Matthew 7:3.
Come on, sir.
Damn right. The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 3. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thine own eye?
See, this is what we got to understand, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's you. You're the problem. You know what I'm saying? Your unresolved trauma, you know what I'm saying, that's the problem, and why we don't know how to treat one another. See, we're good at, you know what I'm saying, looking at the other brother and being like, you know what I'm saying, looking at the other brother, looking at the other sister, and pointing out what the next brother is doing wrong, what the next or what the next sister is doing wrong. Like, you know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters be watching class, and you'll hear something, and then you'll be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, people who get high, they need to stop getting high. Yep, that person, that's crazy. But, you know what I mean, what we need to understand is that the things that you hear, you know what I'm saying, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, when you hear the generals teaching, when you hear the captains teaching and breaking things down and trying to correct our brothers and sisters, you need to internalize it. You need to internalize it and digest it, because it's you. It's you. And if everybody, you know what I'm saying, everybody, you know what I'm saying, we come in the truth to try to become new, to try to shed ourselves of the world, shed our old ways, shed our old habits, and unlearn these, you know what I'm saying, unlearn these things that your oppressors taught you. But how can you really become new? How can you become transformed by the renewing of your mind when you're constantly hyperfixated on what the next brother is doing, what the next sister is doing? It's you. It's you. And you internalizing that you're the problem, you're the, you know what I'm saying, you're the reason, you hurt your brother, you hurt your sister. You did, you know what I'm saying? Once you're able to do that, then you can be ashamed of it and turn away from it and become better. Slack, you read on, sir?
Yeah, right. Verse 4, or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye.
Mm-hmm. It look like we too up now.
Matthew 7, verse 4. Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye.
We good at, again, we good at correcting, you know what I'm saying, correcting one another and chastising and scolding one another, and, you know what I'm saying, and attacking one another. But let me get verse 5.
Verse 5, thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye.
See, and that's the heavy part about it. Like, it's nothing, you know what I'm saying? We, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans how to become better and how to separate from our oppressors and their ways of thinking and their, you know what I'm saying, their society, and how to, you know what I'm saying, become new creatures. You know what I'm saying? We get brothers and sisters off of drugs. We get, you know what I'm saying, brothers and sisters out of the, you know what I'm saying, the whorehouse. Teach brothers and sisters not to be promiscuous and, you know what I'm saying, mongers of promiscuity. We teach brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, how to come together and love one another, not to steal or rob one another, lie to one another. So, you know what I'm saying, you telling a brother, you know what I'm saying, you correcting a brother and be like, hey, I don't think you should be doing that, you know what I'm saying, or, you know what I'm saying, this is wrong, this, that, and the third, you correcting a brother. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But it said, first cast out the beam out of thy own eye, meaning, you know what I mean, get yourself together.
That's right.
You have to get yourself together. And, you know what I mean, you can't do that if you constantly, you know what I mean, if receiving correction, you know what I'm saying, hurts so much or offends you so much that, you know what I mean, that instead of feeling, you know what I'm saying, remorse for your error, you know what I mean, you start to fight and attack and battle and fight against that spirit inside you to, you know what I'm saying, to become better. Because that's all shame is. Shame is just the ability to, you know what I'm saying, feel remorse and to turn away from it. But what you got to understand first and foremost is that it's you. And where we get there from is the Christian church. You know what I mean? Your Christian church, your Christian pastors, you know what I mean, led and, you know what I'm saying, influenced by your oppressor. You know what I mean? They allow you to hide behind, you know what I'm saying, hide behind others' shame. You know what I mean? You go up in the church, you know what I'm saying, knowing that you was, you know what I'm saying, you was out in that corner, you know what I mean, selling drugs, doing whatever, or you was, you know what I'm saying, you was doing the stroll. You come in that church, and then they try to correct one another, but what happens is, you know what I mean, they like, what they say, only God can judge me. You can't judge me. Because they know the pastor is, you know what I'm saying, is in the back, you know what I mean? They know the pastor, they know the pastor in the back, you know what I'm saying, sleeping with everybody's wife. So, you know what I mean? So they take that as an opportunity to be able to hide behind your shame so that they don't have to feel shame. And that's what we learned in the Christian church. That's what we learned from our oppressor. But in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, these brothers and sisters have cleaned themselves up. You know what I'm saying? Thanks to, you know what I'm saying, the Most High in Christ, you know what I'm saying, thanks to, you know what I'm saying, the generals, you know what I'm saying, staying on these brothers, these camp leaders and captains, you know what I'm saying, staying on these brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, our you know what I'm saying, us being able to go to council and resolve issues, you know what I mean, get counsel, and, you know what I'm saying, these commanding General Yohana, under the Most High in Christ, has done an excellent job in cleaning these brothers and sisters up. Right. So there's no shame to hide behind in here. So what you got to do is just clean you up. Just get yourself, just clean yourself up. Right. And make sure, you know what I'm saying, make sure you're, you know what I'm saying, you don't, you know what I'm saying, you don't hurt anybody else. You know what I'm saying? You don't cause the same pain that was inflicted on yourself or by somebody else. Let me get real quick. Let me get Ecclesiastes chapter 4 verse 11 or verse 21 real quick.
Ecclesiastics or Ecclesiastes?
Ecclesiasticus. Verse 21. Or chapter 4 verse. Let's start at verse 21.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 20. Observe the opportunity and be aware of evil, and be not ashamed when it concerns thy soul.
Oh, that was 21.
Oh, 20, Salakia. For there is a shame that bringeth sin, and there is a shame which is glory and grace.
See, there's a shame that brings sin. That shame is, you know what I mean, we ashamed of, you know what I mean, we ashamed to put on our culture. We ashamed to, you know what I'm saying, wear our magun dawada. So we tuck in our magun dawada. Or we our sisters, you know what I'm saying, ashamed to wear that long, beautiful dress. Or we ashamed to, you know what I'm saying, get out on that street corner and teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans how to come up out of hell. You know what I mean? Because they walking past and ridiculing and throwing and, you know what I'm saying, all those things, calling us, you know what I'm saying, calling us Power Rangers and all of that. So if you're ashamed of your culture, you're ashamed of your identity, it's going to bring sin, right? And that's something that happens a lot with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, where we so ashamed to be black and Hispanic, that what? Now we start to, you know what I'm saying, hate ourselves. So we start to do what the Most High told us not to do. We start to, you know what I'm saying, sleep with our oppressors because we love them. We think that they, you know what I'm saying, they are better than us. We think that they the way to go. Or we start to do their drugs. We start to, you know what I mean, keep their feast days because we ashamed of, you know what I'm saying, not having a tree full of gifts on that pagan holiday called Christmas. Or we afraid to not have that turkey on that table on that pagan holiday called Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? You ashamed to not, you know what I'm saying, tell your mother Happy Mother's Day. Or, you know what I'm saying, Happy Valentine's Day and all those things. So that type of shame will bring sin. But there's another type of shame that bring glory and grace. You know what I'm saying? You out there on that street corner and, you know what I'm saying, you getting shamed by you getting shamed by your oppressor. You just eat it. You know what I'm saying? You getting shamed by your people. You know what I'm saying? Your own people will tell you that what you doing is wrong. You fighting and defending for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans and teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans our culture. And you're going to get a lot of shame for, you know what I'm saying? You're going to get a lot of shame for that from your own people, from your own brothers and sisters who you going out and putting your life on the line to save. You're going to get a lot of shame for that. But you endure that shame, brothers and sisters, that you're going to get glory, which is the, you know what I'm saying, which is what we brought out earlier, that, you know what I'm saying, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans going to be ruling, you know what I'm saying, over in this earth. Let me get,
What are you talking about?
all sorts of, I don't know what the hell. But, you know what I'm saying, brother or sister, you know what I'm saying, whatever, just go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, just go ahead and get in class, man, and really find out what's, you know what I'm saying, what we actually talking about.
Yeah, I seen you ask the question. You said, what do we teach? We teach the truth of the Bible.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, we don't teach Christianity. We don't teach any false religion. We teach the truth of the Bible. That's what we teach.
Right. Right. I mentioned that earlier. You know what I mean? What I recommend for this brother or sister, you know what I'm saying, just go ahead, get in class. You know what I'm saying? Ask your questions. If you got a question, you know what I mean, go ahead, ask your questions in class. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here for. You know what I'm saying? I know it's a lot of confusion and a lot of confusion and a lot of you know what I mean, amongst blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because again, we are under the thumb of our oppressor in this country.
Right.
So, you know what I mean, what we do in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge is we teach. the Bible. You know what I mean? We teach the Bible. We teach our culture and identity to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who seemingly don't have a culture in this hell.
That's right.
So, you know what I mean? If you want to learn anything about your culture as a black or Hispanic man, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and ask your questions. But, let's see. Salakia. Let me get verse 11 in that same chapter real quick.
God, the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 4, verse 11. Wisdom exalts her children and lays hold of them that seek her.
See, this is how you're going to, all night we've been talking about shame, right? You know what I'm saying? And where that shame comes from is understanding right and wrong. You know what I mean? Understanding the truth according to the truth according to the Bible, truth according to our culture, and, you know what I'm saying, the lies that we've been taught, you know what I'm saying, the things that your oppressor taught you. So once you start to come into the truth, and that's what happens when you come into the truth. When you come into the truth, when you start to get in classes, start to do your 90 days, you start asking questions, you start to get, you know what I'm saying, get counsel from the captain over your zone, then you start to get wisdom. And that wisdom is going to help you be able to understand, or that wisdom is going to help you become that new creature. That wisdom is going to help you be able to, you know what I mean, turn away from the ways of that old man. Keep on reading.
Verse 5.
Verse 12.
So like verse 12. He that loveth her loveth life.
Mm-hmm.
And they that